Clive Price, the scene of your victory, sir.
Well, close to it.
Well, very much so. Well, this is where a lot of people started in the near the Tea Pavilion in Greenwich Park. So we're the other side of your intermediate objective, which is London Marathon. But looking back to the start, why did you look to getting coaching advice in the first place?
Well, I had two objectives that I thought both of them were hard for me to achieve at my age. One was a 3:20 marathon, and I was running 3:40 marathons in my 20s, or I ran a 3:40 marathon in my 20s, so knew that was hard. I had a much harder objective, the Bob Graham Round, which is a 24-hour circuit of the Lakeland Fells. And basically, I thought, I can't do this. I won't be able to get my fitness to the correct level without some proper coaching.
Why did you go for the burn-it kind of option, which is me, basically?
Personal recommendation. I'd heard that you were a coach. I'd heard that you had coached other people and they'd been successful. So,
okay,
yeah.
Well, thanks very much. Let's get their names. Send them something in the post. Are you happy the way that we focused your goals? Because you had two goals. You've got the marathon, and that came before the Bob Graham Round. For me, the first actually led naturally onto the next. How did you feel about that?
I was pretty happy about the way the training went, and obviously I had the marathon as a goal, so I wanted to have. I wasn't just going to put it in as a training run. So you need to have that intermediate focus, and I thought it worked really well because I had enough of a taper to be ready on Sunday, but I still feel ready for the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's almost a comfort to look beyond, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Do you think we were realistic about the way we kind of approached, say, a 6-week training block, for instance, with the goals that you had?
Yes, I mean, I suppose actually what the thing that really surprised me when I saw my first training plan was how little running I was doing, as in 3 really core training sessions each week. But
Are you a bit concerned about that?
yes, I mean, I think people tend to imagine, particularly if you're training for a marathon, you've got to run at least 5 times a week, or train aerobically 5 times a week. But I think you've got to trust a training plan and see how it goes. And
That's the essence, yeah.
And I found very quickly that it was really working because none of the sessions were easy. There were no recovery runs. There were 3 hard sessions a week, but I always recovered for them for the next session. So it really worked. Yeah,
That's great. Thank you. That's really good feedback. And then we reached the end of a block, and we reassessed you and came up with some new goals. Did you feel like those were equally reasonable? Do you think they still provided a realistic challenge?
yes. I mean, the focus changed slightly in that second block to get me ready for the marathon. So a few marathon specific sessions, and I thought they were really good, and certainly at the end of the marathon on Sunday, sessions like where you run hard and then drop back to your marathon pace.
At the end of the day, I'm trying to do myself out of a job, really, because I want the athlete to be able to sort of manage themselves in a realistic way. When you're doing an event, you have to understand yourself, otherwise the wheels come off, right? And you kind of experienced that a little bit, but I think some of the new things you've learned about yourself helped you cope and come out with the result that you did.
The thing I've learned is that you look at a training plan that has 400-meter intervals in it, and you're doing a marathon and a 24-hour event. And I think the first thing you think when you see 400-meter intervals is they're too short, but they build strength, and having those sort of varieties, I guess, of the strength and the aerobic fitness makes such a difference. So I think the biggest thing I've learned is intervals and strength training really work. They really help you, and it's not just about running further and further.
We're talking about the psychological approach, preparing the individual to address a tough event, approach it realistically, and come out with a result that you expect. And then there's the technical side, where we're actually trying to get people, an individual, to move in a certain way for best efficiency, for best comfort. And we spent a little bit of time looking at analysing your gait on the flat and on gradients. And how do you feel that developed over time?
I think probably my running efficiency was probably the key to me actually making those 4 seconds that I needed for the marathon. Without being able to focus on my technique, think about just how I was running, I would have slowed down. My form would have gone. I think it made the critical difference in the marathon, and I think it will make the critical difference to how I cope with a very, very long distance. And it makes a big difference, the efficient gait and the fast cadence makes a very big difference.
We did a little bit of took a little bit of video during your training sessions, and did you find that useful reference to look back on?
Yes, I did, because you could really see the difference.
Yeah, and, so different aspects of your game are pointed out, you could reflect on maybe.
Yeah, and not too negatively. You can also look at other people as well when they're running. As soon as when you've had this analysis of yourself, you can look at other people and you can see, yeah, they're running well. They don't look very efficient. You don't want to be too negative, but you can also, use that sort of other people as a reference point.
Getting the final result, which was.
Yeah, well, the final result was I wanted to run under 3 hours 20, went off far too fast, had a really tough time, but finished in 3 hours 19 minutes 56 seconds. So I'm made up.
Yeah. In relation to your previous PB, where were you?
So I did 3:27 a few years ago. I'd done 3:32, 3:40 more than 20 years ago because I'm 50 now. So to run a big PB at the age of 50, I think is pretty incredible. Awesome. A testament to my training.
Congratulations.
Cheers.